Tune in next week on part 2. What are the signs that I'm an unforgiving person? And welcome our special guest, Ms. Chantel M., a survivor of the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda that occurred in 1994, claiming the lives of more than 1 million people. What can we learn about forgiveness after such a tragic event?
Has anyone ever done something to you and you have those feelings of pain and resentment, you're angry, but you know the right thing to do is to forgive? Everyone always says, forgive, forgive, forgive. And it's just the right thing. But still, a part of you, it's very hard to let it go. And a lot of us are walking around with baggage, things that we haven't been able to fix. And it's affecting our relationships now. It's because everything is piling up and you realize one day you just want to break. And forgiveness is the reason why we're unable to get over these things, because we don't understand what forgiveness is and we don't know how to forgive, and we've never actually forgiven. We've just brushed the issue aside and said to someone, it's okay.
Today we're talking about forgiveness. What forgiveness is, what it does for you, what it does for the other person that you're expecting forgiveness from or that you're expecting to forgive. What it does to your own family, what it does to your relationships, what it does to your job, and what it does generally.
And this is Keeping Up with Canada TV.
What is forgiveness?
Forgiveness is to stop the feeling of resentment against your offender. So what stops us from forgiving people?
I'll tell you one. There's always this feeling that for you to forgive, you need somebody that offended you to come to you so that you can talk about the issue. Talk about everything, everybody who is involved, try and bring everybody and talk about it and make sure you got to that point where you're like, I hear you, and you know what? I'm gonna forgive you, and then you give each other the hugs, and then you do whatever you do. This is what stops people from forgiving, because if it does not happen, because you have no control over the other person that you offended, if they say by any chance, I don't want to come, I don't want to sit with you because I'm embarrassed for what I did, what do? Do you not forgive? You have to forgive. You know why? Because it will stick with you and it will stay with you, and it's you who's thinking about it. So don't expect to be approached. Don't expect to wait for that mighty day where you're going to sit down and try and resolve it. What if you don't get to that point where you do resolve it?
The only thing that you have control over is you. You decide, you set the pace for your own life. You determine your own happiness, joy, and peace.
Yes.
So you have to make the decision before they even approach you, whether they do it or not. You have let it go because it's about you.
It is.
Or you keep harboring these feelings until you wait 20 years down the line. Now you have baggage piled up, and it becomes increasingly hard to forgive. And not everything requires a reaction.
There are some times when something really has been done to you and it hurts. It rips your heart out. It's not as easy as 1, 2, we just keep at it, forgive. There are times when you really have to sit down with somebody and talk. What we are saying at this point is always be ready. Open your heart when they approach. If they decide to, have an open mind. Be ready to talk.
And be calm. Be calm. It's almost like you're preparing yourself for the conversation. Whether there'll be a conversation or not, you're already at ease. So it's preparing your mind and your heart to relax.
Relax.
Yes.
You breathe. You pray. You say, I don't want to do this by myself. I can never do this by myself. You know, you ask the power of God to guide you, because it's not easy. You know, I can talk about somebody who killed your child. There are people out there who have lost their children from other people, you know, and we cannot just say, just get up and forgive. These are very tough situations. the simple thing we're talking about is always have an open mind.
Yeah.
That if the offender approaches, at least there's a conversation that has to be done. If it's some of those small things, you don't need conversation, you don't need to be approached. Like she said, some things are better off not said or left. And you know what? Sometimes, there are some people who will offend you continuously every day, but they don't know they are. They don't know they are offending you, So this is the time maybe you will need to approach. But say it's somebody that's who they are. There are some people naturally who are like, maybe they are doing things that you don't like, but that's who they are. So some things are like, you know what, you just say,
And the second is pride. Like she's saying, the biggest issue is you're not willing to come down. People who've been offended, you have a chip on your shoulder. You always feel like somebody owes you something, and they can never get tired. They consistently have to make you happy or give you something in order for them to get that forgiveness. Sometimes you get carried away, in your group of friends or even your family or home, because people know you first, certain character, personality in the group, maybe the person who's at the top or an influencer. And so you always want to, it's a pride. You almost feel like in order to stay and maintain at the top, you have to
do what
be a leader. Yeah, and you have to make people follow you. So when it comes to forgiveness and an issue, and there's an issue between you and someone else, you might not forgive somebody, not because you don't want to do it, but you want to feel like you're in charge. It gives you satisfaction that you're in charge, that you have something over someone. And so that person, almost like they have to beg you, and so that makes you feel a little good.
Yes, it does make you feel good, because you have to maintain that status. Yes. That I am the ish. And nobody's going to do anything.
Touch me.
Yeah, people can't just do things and get away with it.
Exactly.
I don't just take anything.
Yes.
This is the pride we're talking about. Do you have it? If you do have it, think about it.
Yes.
You're holding yourself up. Your relationships are held up because of those little things.
Yes.
Imagine, it doesn't matter how old you are. People have offended you so many times every day. You might need lots and lots of suitcases to put that. And honestly, you don't need that. You just have to just keep going. There are intense situations, and I get that. But there are simple things, day-to-day things that you just have to say and move on.
Yeah. Are you so stuck on trying to seek self-glory and honor from people that you're allowing yourself to be affected and hurting your own self for the name or the look? So you have to make decisions for yourself, not based off of what other people think about you, what they say to you, or maybe the status or the position you're trying to maintain or the look. You have to be honest with yourself. How do you feel inside? Because what's in here, people can't see.
Yeah,
they can see what's out here, and you can pretend all you want. But what's in here is a lot of people are walking with pain.
Yes.
And the most pained people are people who look like they're confident. They talk the talk.
As humans, there is that element of feeling for yourself. That why me, right? And the moment you ask yourself, why me? And like these days, we have social media. The moment you're offended, everybody knows, everybody's posting it, everybody gets to be involved with their 2 cents in there. Now you have an audience. Now you are like, everybody is in this case, and they are saying, boy, this is not right. They did so much to you, you have to, if it was me, man. So now you have an audience that you have to deal with. At some point, you don't know how to deal with it because everybody is involved. You're struggling. Yeah. So sometimes the pride comes into, what if I do this? What will these people think? So now you are like, okay, I need to stay significant.
Yes.
I need to just pull all my guns and say, they did this to me. I gotta.
You have to look tough.
Yes,
like
I have to
you're
look tough.
You're the boss.
And we're not saying that you are not hurt. You are hurt, but the everything else, the pride of wanting to show those people whom you think are looking up to you, like they are like, because the world is not forgiving. That's one thing I'll tell you right now. People will sit here and say, if you forgive this person, trust me, you really? Did you just forgive that person? So this is the world you are living in.
And the world loves drama. Remember that. People don't care about you. They don't care about how you feel. And you might play along with whatever they're saying, but when they go home, they have their own issues that you don't know about.
Yes.
So a lot of this is that people just want to see action. They capitalize. They are happy over somebody's downfall. And so that leads us to our third point, the people around you. Are you allowing the people around you, maybe your family, your friends, social media? You always need to have an answer to someone. Are you allowing that to affect the decisions you make when it comes to forgiveness?
So the other thing that stops us from forgiving is the buildup. Do you know there are some things that you are still carrying and you don't realize? Yeah. You're carrying them. You never forgave because some things were not direct, but they were in your subconscious. This buildup, so there is a buildup that maybe you don't realize. Mm-hmm. Maybe you have never been forgiven, so you don't know how to forgive. So these are the other things that keep somebody from not forgiving, because you're thinking to yourself, people always do this to me. Yeah. People are always picking on me and I don't even do anything to them. And this is a wonder to you, and then it builds up. You're being bullied and you feel like you are a victim of things happening to you and nobody owning to it.
Yes.
So by so doing, you fail. Now when somebody now offends you, you're like, really? Now you're doing it again. And you guys always doing things. Everybody always does things. When I was a kid, people at school used to do these things. So those are the other things that will stop you from forgiving, because you're a victim. It's like the whole world now is just gearing to just offend you.
Yeah. And then the other thing on the flip side is maybe you've generally been the offender, and someone else hasn't forgiven you, and so it's hard for you to forgive because you don't know what it feels like to be forgiven.
Yeah.
And so it's not easy for you to forgive people because you're like, I never received that, so why should I give it?
Yeah.
And so this buildup of not being forgiven is causing you not to forgive. But it's not tit for tat. Life is, you are in control of what you can do. You try to be the best person and love people the way you want to be loved.
The pride, being a victim, and wanting to be approached. And so those are the things. It can happen that you among those three things, you find yourself in there. Work at it, because it is important for you, not for the person who offended you. It is important for you because you stay sane.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below and let us know, what are some things that stop you or others from forgiving? Tune in next week on part 2. What are the signs that I'm an unforgiving person? And welcome our special guest, Ms. Chantel M., a survivor of the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda that occurred in 1994, claiming the lives of more than 1 million people. What can we learn about forgiveness after such a tragic event?